Yo, what's good? This your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room yet again, always with another one. And yes, it is another one. So we have a judge out of Pennsylvania here. And yes, this lady, I just don't quite get it. What happened to, what was that? What is that? Oh, I'm strong and independent.
And what the French toast is there to think about?
Yes. So apparently this lady got beside herself because, her dude wanted her to go. He was tired of her. It's over with, And, her being this strong black independent woman, and a judge and things like that. She was like, well, you can't just tell me to go whenever you tell me to go. I'm going to go when I feel like it. So it is what it is, man. Hey, let's go here now. And what I got here, I have the other side to the story here. And yes, we're going to dive off into this. We're going to hear also what an attorney has to say about the situation and things in that nature, about what she's going to get charged for and things like that. So, hey, let's dive off into it. Put these quarters, nickels, and dimes in on the times.
Let me break it down. So according to the Cumberland County District Attorney's Office, the victim, Michael McCoy, had tried to end the couple's one-year relationship in early February. He reportedly asked the judge to move out. He says she refused, and he tried to take her key away. But then on February 9th, he came home to find her on his couch in her pajamas. So police say he then leaves to go to a bar, but said he would be calling McKnight's mother to see if she could convince McKnight to move out, wanted to get her involved. Now, that night, McCoy says he told McKnight that they would talk about the relationship the next day, and says he went to sleep at around 11 p.m.
Recordings just got better.
Hold up.
Hey, it's Dana.
My bad. Yeah, here we go.
A couple hours later, with this massive head pain and he was unable to see, when he started screaming, McKnight reportedly asked him, quote, "Mike, what did you do to yourself?" Well, you come to find out that McCoy had a gunshot wound near his right eye. But here's the thing. McCoy denies shooting himself, telling both police and hospital staff that didn't happen. The only other person in the home was McKnight. So she reportedly calls 911, telling them that she heard her boyfriend screaming, but she said she didn't know what happened. And as investigators looked into this, and as the investigation found, the gun that was used was registered to McKnight. And gunshot residue was reportedly found on her hands around an hour after the shooting. She was also allegedly deceptive when speaking with investigators. For instance, authorities explained that McKnight said she never left the house on the night of the shooting, but surveillance footage from neighbors' doorbell cameras proves that might not be quite the case. So McKnight was arrested on February 15th. She's currently in the Dauphin County Prison with bail set at $300,000. She has a preliminary hearing scheduled for next week. And McCoy, going back to him, as I said, he survived. He was released from the hospital, but he's blind in one eye. Now, do you remember when I said that this judge, or this suspended judge, is back in the news? I say that because this is not the first time that Judge McKnight has been in trouble. No. At the time of her arrest, she was actually suspended from the bench without pay. There were claims that she violated judicial probation in a misconduct case back in 2020, when she allegedly got involved in a traffic stop involving her son. She was acquitted of criminal charges, but she remained suspended. According to the District Conduct Board of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, McKnight violated 7 different rules governing standards of conduct for judges. Those violations included theft of time when she allegedly allowed employees to take extra vacation days. She also allegedly told her office manager to pretend that she never received a civil complaint regarding a loan that she owed. And then in 2019, McKnight was investigated for shooting her estranged husband in the groin. The prosecutors didn't file charges. They said it was self-defense. So much to talk about here. Let me bring in criminal defense attorney Natalie Whittingham Burrell to talk.
Okay, before we do all that,
What the French toast is there to think about?
oh my goodness. Now, so this judge has been allowed to have a lot of free reign here with a lot of things. You know, I mean, it's crazy out here. It's a lot of high-ranking official females that are actually losing their minds out here lately. I'm just saying. We all know this. But this particular case here is ridiculous because now she also got away with shooting her estranged husband or whatever, things like that. They didn't pursue those charges, talking about self-defense. You know, it's ridiculous. But at the same time, though, too, now she's hemmed up in this situation here. The thing of this is how is this man sleep and also able to shoot himself like that? That's impossible to do. And then, you know, it's like he already told you that he no longer wants to be with you. Now, we're looking at those facts right there. And that's just straight up facts. She was not supposed to be there in the first damn place. She wasn't. So let's see what the lawyer has to say about this particular situation. Not her personal lawyer, but just a lawyer.
Talk about this, bring her into the conversation. Natalie, so good to see you. Thanks for coming on. I usually ask my guests their initial impressions. I really can't wait to hear yours in a case like this. We've covered cases of judges allegedly acting badly. This one's new for me. What are your thoughts on this one?
Hey, Jesse, it's nice to see you again. Yeah, new for me. I've heard of judges shooting people, but not twice.
You have? You have?
I have.
Oh,
you know.
Okay.
Heard of judges shooting people. It's happened, you know, but not two separate incidents. That's definitely a first for me. And both being significant others. I wonder if they're going to look at that case again where she shot her husband in the groin. But no, this is absolutely wild. And it seems like she's had some issues on the bench leading up to this. Don't know if she's going to come back from that suspension ever.
Let me ask you a question before we even get into the aspect of the case. The fact that she's facing the controversy with the suspension, now accused of attempted murder, even if she was acquitted or this case was dismissed, any which way she could remain on the bench?
I just don't see it. I don't think that anyone would have any confidence, attorneys or litigants, that she would be fair and impartial and a rationed and reasonable judge, because she doesn't seem to be a rationed and reasonable person. I feel a little bad even saying that because, you know, she's presumed to be innocent. It's just too many incidents for one person.
I've covered a case recently where I had another guest on, and that judge was accused of some serious wrongdoing. I think it was allegedly beating up a family member. And the judge, the person I interviewed then said that if the judge is not convicted, could remain on the bench. There was nothing in that state's laws that would actually prevent the judge from being or having to step down. Just interesting to think about. But let me ask you about this legal case. So in a statement, her attorney said, quote, Judge McKnight is innocent of the alleged charges. She did not shoot Mr. McCoy. Judge McKnight looks forward to the whole story being told. Judge McKnight intends to vigorously defend herself in this matter. She believes in the criminal justice system, and once all of the facts in this matter are brought to light, she is confident that she will be cleared of any wrongdoing. As this matter works its way through the court, it is important to keep in mind that Judge McKnight is innocent unless the Commonwealth can prove otherwise beyond a reasonable doubt.
Now, hold on. What? We need to stop this shit. Man, we need to stop this. So, okay. They've pulled gun residue from her hands. This is what was said at first. They've already pulled the gun residue. And I'm pretty sure they've checked his hands too to see if he has gun residue on his hands as well. So if they're putting out the information that they already have the gun residue on her hands, things like that. It's only 2 people in the household. One person was asleep. The person that got actually shot was asleep. So now my thing of it is the delusion part that, you know, most women have in today's society. And sorry, yes, I'm going to go there. I'm carrying it there. The delusion part. This man wakes up in pain and agony. I'm talking about straight pain. He lucky he woke up at all. Like, let's just keep that real too. Let's keep that real too. So obviously, she wasn't just, you know, that good of a shot. I mean, you know, it's not funny. It's not funny, but it's just real though. So, you know, yeah, he wakes up and then she's going hard on trying to convince him that he, you know, miraculously in his sleep tried to delete his own self. What are you talking about here? What are we talking about? Hold on.
Who responsible for all these holes in the street? You?
Who responsible for all these holes around here? Because I guarantee you, you know what I'm saying, this bat right here, this bat of a judge is a bat. She's not an upstanding citizen. She's nothing to be admired for or anything like that. She just washed all her accomplishments down the drain. So let's just not go there. Let's just not go there.
The charges are currently presented are merely allegations and nothing more. We ask that the public keep an open mind and reserve judgment in this case until all of the facts are presented. Now, an attorney by law doesn't have to present a statement like this to the public. They did here. And the fact that it outright said she didn't do this, not, you know, she looks forward to clearing her name or she looks forward to having her day in court, rather vague. And there were aspects of it vague, but signaling there is another side to this story. What do you make of that?
I think that's a risk, not one that I'm ever willing to take in my own practice. I know when a case is high profile, there is a pressure to put out your client's side of the story, especially because whatever the prosecution releases to the public, a lot of people will accept that as the truth. But you kind of want to counteract that because there's a jury pool, whatever the case may be. It's not worth making statements that can later on be used against your client. You paint your client into a corner. Your words get nitpicked. It's just not worth it, in my opinion. And you're right here, Jesse, because it goes from that she have later on changed her mind and said that she was acting in self-defense, or that, you know, some other justification.
I'm sorry, you can't act in self-defense when somebody's sleeping. It just don't work that way. It just don't work that way. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy talk. You know, but I understand what this lawyer is saying, though. It's ridiculous, though, that you would actually sit there and think that, you know what I'm saying, what anybody would think that this woman will be able to pull off self-defense in this particular scenario. I doubt if she gets away with this time. Like, seriously. And she really doesn't need to. She needs to be locked up with the people that she's been locking up for so long now. Like, seriously.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
Justification was there other than I didn't do it. And so you want to be really careful not to make statements where it's not necessary. And here it was not necessary.
I'm going to ask you a difficult question because you haven't been presented any evidence in this case, just what I've been putting forward. How would you defend it?
Well, I would call into question a lot of the forensics that they're saying so far. So they're saying gunshot residue is on her hands. That's easily transferred from touching the person who was shot. So that doesn't mean that she shot a gun. Also, they're saying that the way that the bullet entered his head, it was like a foot away or some distance away. That can be called into question. So I would.
Okay, I'm gonna ask this question too. You know, anybody get down in the comments and let me know. She just said that would be easily transferred to her hands from anybody that you know allegedly has shot themselves and things like that. But at this time too, when you have to have touched the person that quote unquote shot themselves hands in order to get the transfer of the residue. So if you didn't touch them at all. Like, how would the residue get upon you? Like, you know. I don't think she really touched him like that. You know what I'm saying? But who knows? Who knows? That's neither here nor there. Let's keep going.
Would attack the forensics, and then you're going to attack the credibility and the memory of the man that was shot, her ex. Basically, he can't remember because he was shot. He wants to believe that he wouldn't shoot himself, but he's wrong. Or he has a motive to lie on my client because they were in a contentious breakup and he wanted to get rid of her. And so he's willing to frame her, even though he doesn't remember how it is that he got shot.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. So now you mean to tell me, now I'm just going off the scenarios that this lawyer is giving about trying to discredit the victim, basically. Now, you mean to tell me that a person would go out their way to shoot themselves in the eye, risk actually going head on and deleting themselves, take the risk of deleting themselves by accident to try to frame somebody else for trying to shoot them. So now let's hold on. Just think about that.
You old fish-eyed fool.
You have to really think this thing through. Now, if a lawyer in the courtroom try to pull that up out of their behind, then you know that they're actually reaching for the stars at that point. They're reaching for the stars. Who in their right mind? And I guarantee, I don't know. Of course, it's not a psych eval or anything like that that's probably been done on the dude and stuff like that. But that's just ridiculous. Now you're just reaching at that point.
So all of those are little things that you could point at to raise reasonable doubt.
I would imagine presenting an argument that someone shot themselves with the
Right.
intent of not killing themselves,
Right.
but injuring themselves. That's tough.
That's tough. But see, you don't have to say that. You can say he just meant to shoot himself, but
No, that I doubt if they try to pull that out. I doubt that.
he doesn't have any problem.
Okay. Okay.
putting-
But I would say, all right, he wanted to frame his ex-girlfriend as a way to get her back, or as a way to get her out of the house. Why didn't he shoot himself in the shoulder? He shoots himself
Right.
in the head. I mean, what are we talking about here?
It's not funny, but absolutely true. Absolutely true.
Yeah.
But all of that does go to his memory and his credibility, right? We weren't on the best of terms, and so he doesn't remember that he shot himself. So you don't have to make him malicious. He doesn't remember that he shot himself, but he's drawing a conclusion. Like the prosecution wants you to draw a conclusion. They want you to leap to the conclusion that she's the shooter, and she's not. And he leapt to that conclusion because he's in a bad relationship with her, but he doesn't remember shooting.
By the way, this judge story is pretty nuts. And look, I don't love beating up on my legal.
Hey, hold on here. Yeah. And I get that. Hold on. Let me move forward a little bit here. Let me move forward just a little bit here. Hold on. Here we go. We're going to go here. Let's go.
This is a case of attempted murder. Would a heat of passion argument work here that she was so enraged that he was trying to break up with her, that she fired a gun at him in this, she wasn't thinking clearly? Would that work in an attempted murder case like this?
Yeah, so even though the actus reus was not completed, even though the person did not die, thankfully, the intent at the time of the commission of the act is still the same. And that was not really an intent to kill or not a premeditation, but being so overwrought with emotion that you react in the moment without planning it. That would still, so a lack of intent to kill or a lack of premeditation or heat of passion, however you want to phrase that mental state, that would still be at play. And so it would be the attempted manslaughter of another person, or it could even mitigate it down to an assault, like what we have in Maryland, a first-degree assault. Sometimes you can mitigate an attempted murder down to a first-degree assault. So that's a possibility as well.
But it matters that he was sleeping when she did this, or allegedly did this, right? I mean, it would be one thing if they were in the middle of an argument or he was holding some sort of weapon. If he's asleep, that feels, again, very difficult.
Yeah, that's very difficult. I mean, there's many reasons. He's vulnerable. He's not able to defend himself, and he is not currently a threat to you. I would look out for, now I know her attorney, he painted her into a corner, but put that statement aside. Another potential defense could be a battered women syndrome, which mitigates down an attempt.
Oh, Lord. Battered women syndrome. Now, I understand in life things do happen. You do have some women out there that are dealing with very egregious type of men that are, have them hemmed up in very, very crazy situations. I understand that. But let's just stick to this particular situation. It's no way that a man is sleeping and can be a threat to you at that moment. And also, too, I would like to know the caliber of a firearm that was used. Was it a revolver? Was it automatic? Things like that. That does make a difference because a revolver is always loaded. A automatic, automatic revolver and things like that, you have to cock it to put one in the chamber. So, I would like to know what type of firearm was used in this situation. That does matter too in this type of incident. It's crazy.
Attempted murder to an attempted manslaughter, or sometime a certain degree of assault. If she was the victim of domestic violence in a previous relationship, if she were to, this is completely hypothetical, but she says that she acted in self-defense in her previous relationship of domestic violence. If she were to have in this relationship alleged that she also suffered domestic violence, then that cooling off period where the person that was injured got to, go to sleep, lay down, and they're no longer seeming to be a threat, that's when the battered woman acts out and shoots the person or tries to kill the person. Then that would be a defense that they could get a mental health professional to back that claim up. So that's one of.
Whoa, hold on. Now let's keep this real. Now this is a judge. She could easily get on the phone, get every squad car in the city there. She could get the chief of police to wake up. She could get the chief of police to climb out some pussy if she need him to come and correct this dude. So let's not go there right now. Hey, y'all know I'm not joking. This is a judge in this particular city. She could get on that phone and have 30 squad cars there in 15 fucking seconds. And she was just under this, this syndrome and things like that. Man, we got to stop with all this crap. We got to stop this. This is ridiculous out here. You can't make this shit up.
The more reasons why that statement really was ill-advised, because there's a plethora of defenses that are available to her without that statement.
And correct me if I'm wrong, the reason I bring up this idea of pleading guilty or arguing for a lesser charge is because for attempted murder in that state, my understanding, it could be up to 40 years in prison because you're dealing with serious bodily injuries. Am I understanding that could be a potential punishment?
Yes, I looked and I saw that was their maximum possible penalty. And even though she obviously wouldn't have a criminal record at sentencing, almost anything is considered. So the fact that she previously shot a romantic partner, the fact that she has issues with her credibility in her job as a judge, all of those things are going to come into play when considering a sentence.
But will that come if she goes to trial on this? The fact that the charges.
Take charge of your career with help from Belhaven Online.
For her allegedly shooting her ex, her estranged husband, can that come in a trial? She wasn't convicted of that.
No. It wouldn't come in at a trial. It would come in at sentencing. If she were to be convicted, anything could be considered at sentencing.
Even though it was self-defense? Well, they say it was self-defense.
Allegedly, it was self-defense. This is the thing. When it comes to things like sentencing and bond reviews, whether or not you're going to let somebody out, the judge has a wide discretion in what they can consider. And they can say like, you weren't ultimately charged with it, but I have concerns about your safety to the community because you are willing to act out with a gun when faced with adversarial situations, and it's concerning, and so that might warrant a higher sentence.
I guess the more important question is, in light of what has just happened, do investigators look at that old case and say, wait a minute, that might not have been self-defense? They didn't, remember, she wasn't acquitted, didn't go to trial, just wasn't pursued.
Right, they definitely could turn around and say that it's completely in the police and the prosecution's discretion if they want to look at the case. The case is kind of old now, and really they could have had some type of video showing the guy attacking her or something like that. You really don't know. But if maybe they gave her the benefit of the doubt because, it's a judge and she's saying that she was reacting to domestic violence, it wouldn't be outside the realm of possibility for them to try and reinvestigate that case.
By the way, prosecuting a judge, former judge, suspended judge, is that going to be difficult to do for a prosecutor? We've talked about difficulties of trying to prosecute members of law enforcement before, or celebrities, but the idea of prosecuting a judge, in your experience, is that tough?
So it's a minefield, because number one, you're dealing with someone who's used to being in a situation or a position of authority, right? And so they could be the type that wants to run the show. They're going to have resources at their disposal to have excellent counsel, to be prepared at all moments, to contest every single little thing that the prosecution tries to do, as they should.
Hey, who that reminds you of right there? What's that woman name? Damn it. What's the woman in Hotlanta out there? You know that DA woman that's used to being in fucking control all the damn time. Oh yeah, I got it. My bad. Yeah. Fannie Willis. Yeah, she used to being in control. That's why she was up in that courtroom showing her natural ass. So yeah, it kind of is what it is at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it is what it is, man. I really do think that they need to reopen that old investigation with the situation with her ex-husband and things like that. They need to also truly take this as a true warning sign. It's no way that a man is asleep and tries to delete himself, because who shoots themselves while they're asleep? And then also too, look at the facts of when they're doing the forensic science and things like that. They look at the trajectory, the angles of the way that you were shot and things like that, or the whoever shot you, things like that. They look at the angles, how far away, the person was when they shot you. I mean, you have to think about that too. Like, let's say they picked the gun residue up off her hand. If he had truly shot himself, there would be gunpowder or gun residue on his face, because he would have to hold the gun at a certain angle close enough to his face to do that. And there's also gunpowder that comes out of the muzzle of the gun that will, go on your hands, as well as it's just like shooting somebody up close. There's going to be gun residue and powder and stuff, powder burns and things like that are actually, projected out of the muzzle onto whatever fiber or fabric or skin or anything like that. If you're holding a gun close enough to you and you're trying to commit, I'm trying to think of good words to say. I don't want to say too, but if you're trying to delete yourself, there's going to be muzzle residue upon you at a certain angle, in a certain range, things like that. They got this broken down to a science. So I don't know what type of game she thinks she's gonna play because she's a judge. And you know, I would think that she would know this. I would think that she would know this. Like seriously. You know.
You can't make this shit up.
You old fish-eyed fool.
No, you can't make this up. I would think that she would know this. You know, and it's sad that she's trying to play these games. I really think that she's already gotten away with shooting somebody else. I really think she has. And it's come to this point now. She was like, well, yeah, I got away with it before. I'm going to do it again. You're not finna put me out. I'm not finna, you know, you're not finna tell me to leave. I'm strong and independent. I'm a black woman. You know what I'm saying? You ain't finna tell me to go no motherfucking well. You know what I'm saying? I'm a judge. You ain't finna tell me to go nowhere. Who you think you talking to, son? Oh, I guarantee she tried to son him all the time. I guarantee she tried to son him all. Who you think you're talking to? I'm Judge so-and-so. I have a PhD. Who you think you're talking to? I don't have to leave. I don't have to go anywhere. Either you're going to do what I say or else I'm going to do something to you. And, you know, it kind of is what it is, man. It's sad, but it's true. But it is what it is, though, man. Hey, shout out to all my subscribers. Mad love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell to be notified whenever I decide to post things, all right? And like I always say,
and that, my friends, is the bottom line.
That, my friends, is the bottom line.
Talk about that some other time.
Now I want to talk about it now. See,
Fred,
another reason
I said we'll talk about that some other time.
You don't tell me what I can talk about. You don't tell me what I can talk about in my own house.
Don't you point your finger at my nose, Fred Sanford.
I'll point my finger at your nose and I'll point my foot somewhere else.